morning, Pratama.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello. Good morning, ma'am.
Fridge la இருக்கு.
Hello. Good morning, Pratama. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Sir. Unmuted.
ஹலோ குட் மார்னிங் சார். கனெக்ட் பண்ணிட்டீங்களா? நான் கனெக்ட் பண்ணிட்டேன். பேசி பார்க்குறேன், அது கேட்குதான்னு தெரியல. புஷ்பா பேசலாம். கனெக்ட் பண்ணுங்க. பண்ணிட்டு நான் ஜஸ்ட் ஒரு பேசி பார்க்குறேன், கேட்குதான்னு எனக்கு.
ஹலோ, கேக்குது சார். ஹலோ சார், இட் இஸ் ஆடியபிள்.
டிவியை போட்டு பாரு.
Good morning, all. Good morning to everybody. Sorry for the yesterday inconvenience. Now we will start the session. I am Pushpalata, coordinator of the Department of Computer Application, Shift 2 from Patrician College of Arts and Science. I heartily welcome you all for this online session organized by our department. I am Pushpalata, coordinator to make this lockdown a little useful. Shift 2 from Patrician College of Arts and Science. To make this lockdown a little useful and beneficial for the faculty, we decided to conduct this session on this topic. And as we were looking out for an expert in the field, we happened to contact our resource person for the day, Dr. P.L. Chitra, Professor of the Department of Computer Science, University of Madras. We are really happy to have ma'am do this session for us today. Dr. Chitra has 28 years of teaching and 20 years of research experience with digital image processing and pattern recognition. Being the areas of specialization, ma'am is a well-known personality among many educationalists with many notable achievements. Credentials, we are happy to have accepted to do this session for us today. Thank you, ma'am. And wishes for all the participants for having taken time to register to learn or relearn on this topic. Thank you all. Once again, I welcome you all. And having said that, I now request Dr. Chitra to take over the session.
Good morning, everybody. So today, during this lockdown period, let us make use of the time to learn about color image processing. First, I would like to record my sincere thanks to the organizers, Patrician College, for having initiated this FDP program to make this lockdown useful to our faculty members. So once again, as our Pushpalata has told, I also apologize for the yesterday's inconvenience. But anyway, today let us make it successful. I wish every participant to have some great input out of this faculty development program. Today, our task is to learn about color image processing. The agenda of today's session is to know about the introduction of what a color image is and what are the color fundamentals available. Based on that, we will be discussing about color models, RGB color model, CMY color model, HSI color model, and we will elaborate on pseudo color image processing, intensity slicing, gray level to color transformation, and finally, we will give the conclusion about the color image processing session. So this is always true, right? Everybody will agree with me. One picture is worth more than 10,000 words. Normally, we always be happy to look at the image to observe the things than the text. So it is true everywhere. It is true for everybody. So today, we are going to discuss about pictures, how the picture is being represented, how we are going to describe the pictures in the age of internet world. Everybody is happy to have images with you. When you take birthday party, when you have any occasions, always we take pictures. That is, we capture images and we work on it. So today's our objective is to know about how to make use of the processing based on the images everything is available in our hand now. So we have palm tops available. We can take we have camera with us, and we may able to capture all the images, snapshot. We can make it, and we can work on it. So this is another image, right? This is an image, color image, which gives you the information. We must either find a way or make one. So every time we need to find a way for our goal. So if not, we will have to make one. So here, this is our important information which is conveyed by this image. As you know, this is a color image which represents some hills with we have some message here. This is an image. So we are working on images. Next. So according to the Swamiji, we can understand and we can take this as our goal. Arise, awake, and do not stop until the goal is reached. This is an image which conveys the information about arise, awake, and do not stop until the goal is reached. Here we have the red color with us, and we have the Swamiji's photograph with us. We may able to process on it. So one picture is worth more than 1,000 words. This is true for everybody. So today we are going to describe how the processing can be carried out with images. So in this lecture, in this FDP program, the content has taken from this book, Digital Image Processing by Rafael C. Gonzalez and Richard E. Woods, edition Wesley, 2002 edition. Actually, we have the latest edition, March 2020. We have the 4th edition currently available in this book. This is the Bible for image processing. We may able to get more information based on this book. So today we will be focusing the content and the details from this reference. One who wants to learn more on this, you can very well refer that book. First, we look at what is a digital image. What is digital image processing? A digital image is a representation of two-dimensional image as a finite set of digital values called the picture elements or pixels. So normally we have the illumination source, that is energy. Then we have the object which is to be captured through the imaging modality, that is nothing but our camera, through which what will happen is the light is being incident on the object, that will be reflected, and based on that we will be getting the image. This is what our digital camera has. So we have the resolution. Based on the resolution, we may able to get the images. So image is nothing but a 2D function, f of x comma y. X represents the row coordinate values, y represents the y coordinate values. So digital image is nothing but a function, f of x comma y, as a two-dimensional image as a finite set of digital values. What do you mean by finite set? Countable. When you have 10 rows and 10 columns, you have only 100 pixels. When you have 100 rows and 100 columns, we will be having 10,000 pixels. So it's nothing but a 2D matrix. When you want to work on images, we need to work on 2D images. That is two-dimensional matrix. So a digital image is nothing but a two-dimensional image. So here we have 3 different types of images which we can store in the image format. First one is black and white image. In the black and white image, we have 0 for representing a black pixel, 1 for representing a white pixel. So, or we can represent a black and white or grayscale image. First category is coming under the black and white representation or grayscale. That is, here we will be using 1 sample per point. As I have already mentioned, black and white bit. We have either black 1 bit or 0 bit. 0 bit represents the black, 1 bit represents the white. Also, we can have the grayscale. That is also extension of the black and white image with the shades from 0 to 255. That is, we have 2 power 8. That is 256 range is available, but it starts from 0. So we will be saying that resolution is 0 to 255. That is, we will be having 8 different shades ranging from black to white. So then in image processing, we can represent an image with 3 samples per point. That is, 2-dimensional matrix f of xy can be represented with a color. As you know, everybody is familiar about the primary colors, red, green, and blue. 3 samples per point. Then we have 4 samples per point. That is coming under the 3D representation of the given image. Here we have the 3 parameters: red, green, blue, and alpha. Alpha is nothing but opaque representation of the given data that will be given you. So the first sample represents a black and white image. Here in this slide, I am showing you the second image as a 3 samples per point with red channel, green channel, and blue channel. As you know, the same picture is being given with the opaque factor with reference to alpha. It shows you the opaqueness of the given image as a 3D representation. So these are the normal image formats available in the image processing. What is digital image processing? Why do you bother about image processing? When you want to improve the pictorial information for human interpretation, we can work on 2D matrices, and we can, whatever the process we want to do it, we can work on it. So normally, when you take the snapshot, if you shake the snapshot, there will be a disturbance, there will be a noise. So that noise can be removed. So we can improve the pictorial information for human interpretation. And also, we are now living in the age of internet, and we have social media, and we always communicate second by second to everybody, nanosecond by nanosecond to everybody through this communication world. So you can take your birthday party, and you can take the snapshot, and you can send to your friends immediately. In that scenario, we have a huge data as image represents, for example, 1024 rows and 1024 columns, each with 3 data, right? Red channel, green channel, blue channel. It is a very huge information. When you want to transfer the image from one end to another end, there must be some compression techniques required, and it can be used for autonomous machine perception. For this purpose, we are working on images. As soon as we capture the images, so this is coming under the digital image processing. Normally, some argument about where image processing ends and fields such as image analysis and computer vision start. So here we will be working on 3 different levels of the digital image processing, under which we can start from image analysis, and we can go on to the computer vision, then virtual reality, artificial intelligence. Here we can represent the image processing to computer vision can be broken up into low, mid, high level processes. A low level process input, whatever the input which we are taking is nothing but our image. Output also will be the image. As I have already mentioned, if you take the snapshot and if you have the disturbance over it due to the brightness or due to the poor resolution or due to the shaking, we may have some image which is blurred, which is not clear. What we can do is we can remove the noise through image processing techniques, and we can make the image sharpening. All these things are coming under low level process. Here the input is image, output is also going to be the image. So the next one which we are going to discuss is nothing but mid level process. Here in this image analysis, we will be giving the data as an input. That data is nothing but 2D data. It's nothing but a matrix which represents an image. From the image, we will only focus on the region of interest, attributes. This is coming under the mid-level process. So here, object recognition. When you take the vehicle monitoring system, we focus on how many cars are moving, how many four-wheelers are moving, how many heavy vehicles are going on, something like that. We can focus on object recognition. Similarly, in the case of, for example, if you talk about the medical image processing, we can take only the tumor portion of the brain. That is, we can segment the necessary portion of the given image as an attribute. Similarly, in the high level process, which comes under the computer vision, here what we give as an input is nothing but attributes. The output, what we require is understanding. From the attributes, we can understand how the data is. This is coming under the machine vision applications, artificial intelligence, scene understanding, crowd monitoring, autonomous navigations, automatic cars without driver. All these things are coming under this. So our image processing starts from the low level and it goes on to image analysis with mid-level. Also, it travels towards the virtual reality and vision, computer vision, machine understanding, and deep learning. Everything can be accommodated with respect to this multi-resolution image processing. If you want to work on multi-resolution image processing, we require the fundamentals. So that's what our faculty development program is focusing on, the fundamentals of how the color image is being stored and what are the models required and how to use it, everything. I think 2 participants raised hand. If you have any doubts, we can have the pause and we can discuss, right? Any problem? Shall we continue? Any problem? I think I will give you half an hour time. After 30 minutes, we will have a discussion session. From this, I will go with our content. Is it clear?
Ma'am, audio
Yeah.
is very low, ma'am.
Audio is very low?
Yes, ma'am, it seems like.
Yeah,
You
I will.
raise the volume, ma'am.
Yeah, I will try.
Okay, ma'am, thank you.
Ma'am,
Yeah,
you mean input for artificial intelligence image processing is attributes, you mean MRI, CT scan, something like that?
for example, if you take the MRI image, we can take the brain portion of the image and we can automatically detect is there any tumor and how much it is affected to the human body. All these things we can do it with respect to computer vision applications. So we can extend our image processing to different levels, right? So attributes will be given, and from the attributes, we will make the system to understand. We will make the machine to understand. Okay, that is coming under the computer vision. When you talk about the computer vision, automatically understanding is coming, intelligence is being incorporated.
Okay.
So here, the characteristics of color image are distinguished by its properties, brightness, hue, and saturation. It simplifies object extraction and identification. So motivation to use color. Why do we want to use? When you want to identify the images from the given image, if you have a color, we can easily identify. For the natural scenery image, we can see some set of flowers, we can see some greenery, we can see some water, we can see some falls over it with the help of colors. And also we need to know about the brightness, how the brightness is all about based on the illumination. And then color part of it can be represented in the hue in the form of color image processing. So the powerful descriptor is nothing but our color that often simplifies object identification and extraction from a scene. So human can discern thousands of color shades and intensities compared to about only 2 dozen shades of gray. As you know, in the gray scale image, we have 0 to 255, but our human eye acts like a camera and we have rods and cones in our human eye. In the rods, we can perceive the dim light. Due to the cones, we may able to perceive the color. So we have thousands of millions of rods available and cones are available. With the help of that, our human brain can sense it and understand what color is based on the wavelength present in the given color. So this is what we have to understand. So here in this, we have hue, which distinguish among colors such as red, green, and purple. Then we have saturation, which refer to how color far from the gray. Saturation is nothing but hue represents a color, right? Red, green, and purple. This is the reduction of the primary colors, red, green, blue. Then we have lightness. the perceived intensity of a reflecting object is being given with respect to the factor known as lightness. What do you mean by brightness? Refer to the perceived intensity of self-luminous. When you have your mobile, laptop or desktop, we will adjust, right? In our television, we will adjust our brightness. Otherwise, what will happen? Our eyes will not be comfortable. Eyes will become tired and we have the blinking power. So what we need to do is, when we have the proper setting only, we may be comfortable to work on our electronic gadgets. So all these things we need to work on computer color image processing. So let us first talk about color fundamentals. In 1666, Sir Isaac Newton discovered that the beam of light is not white, but consists of continuous spectrum of color ranging from violet to red. So what happens is, white light is incident on the prism, optical prism. It absorbs and it reflects the intensities as a visible region right from violet to red. As you know, VBGR, violet, indigo, blue, green. So this represents a color. As figure shows, the color spectrum may be divided into 6 broad regions: violet, blue, green, yellow, orange, and red. The color spectrum seen by passing white light through a prism. This is a fundamental for representing a color. We always like color. Our color is not only applicable to images, it is represented everywhere. For example, in your Java, if you want to work on color, you have the abstract window toolkit. Under the abstract window toolkit, you have a color class. Through the color class, we can have the RGB, then we can have HSI, we can have the CMY. So based on the display technologies, based on the printing industry, based on the textiles, we always use colors. The objective of this faculty development program is to bring about the fundamentals of how to represent a color, specifically in the images and videos. Okay. If the light is achromatic, it is only attribute is its intensity. Achromatic light is what viewers see on a black and white television set. So it is achromatic is no color. We have already gone of the days people have used the black and white television set. Chromatic light spans the electromagnetic spectrum from approximately 400 to 700 nanometer. What is nanometers represents? Into 10 power minus 9 meter. Human color vision is achieved through 6 to 7 million cones in each eye. As I have already mentioned, our human eye acts like a camera. We are blessed and we can sense different color shades. Our cones are responsible for that. 6 to 7 million cones are available in each eye. So we have here visible spectrum 400 to 700 nanometer. That is only sensible to the human eye. The remaining are ultraviolet energy, X-rays energy, gamma rays, then microwaves, televisions, and radios. So each one is having its own applications. Our mobile is coming based on the radio waves. Gamma rays, X-rays, UV rays are used in the medical image processing applications. Approximately 66% of these cones are sensitive to the red light and 33% to the green light and 6% to the blue light. As I have already told you here in this example, in this graph, we have blue region, green region, red region with different wavelengths. This has been shown. So 66% of these cones are sensitive to the red light, 33% green light and 6% to blue light. Absorption curves for the different cones have been determined experimentally. Strangely, these do not match with the CAE standard. Just like our color, we have the color standard that will help you to color international standard, engineering standard. For red, the wavelength is given as 700 nanometer, green 546.1 nanometer, and blue 435.8 nanometer. So this is a standard developed before the experiment. So we have the CAE standard. Based on that, we have 700 nanometer, green 546.1 nanometer, and blue 435.8 nanometer in the visible spectrum. So we have the color which is given in this representation. We have the first one is primary color, second one is secondary color. What is the primary color? We have red, green, blue. So in this graph, we may be able to see color cone. In this color cone, we may be able to see red, green, blue. The mix of red and green is nothing but yellow. Mix of blue and green is nothing but cyan. Then mix of red and blue represents the magenta. When you combine all these colors, we will be getting white. This is called as a primary color representation. Here we will be using the additive color representation. In the second one, we can see here cyan and magenta reduced color model represents the mix of cyan and magenta represents blue. Then we have magenta and yellow, which yields our red. Then cyan and yellow represents our green color. If you mix everything, we will be getting the black. So this is coming under the subtractive model. So as it is given, magenta, red plus blue, cyan, green plus blue, yellow, red plus green. So mixing the three primaries or secondaries with its opportunities, opposites, primary color in the right intensities produces white light. So three basic qualities are used to describe the quality of the chromatic light source. Here we have radiance, luminance, and brightness. What is meant by radiance? So these are the three basic qualities to represent the chromatic light source. That is color data. We have each color is associated with radiance. Second one is known as luminance. Third one is called as brightness. The total amount of energy that flows from the light source measured in watts is nothing but our radiance. Luminance is nothing but the amount of energy an observer can perceive from the light source measured in lumens. Note we can have high radiance but low luminance. As you know, when we have a sunlight, we have a luminance, a huge luminance, 1 lakh luminance. In the night time, right, in the moon time, we have only 1 luminance. So this is called as luminance. Then we have brightness. Brightness is nothing but a subjective. Subjective means practically unmeasurable notion that embodies the intensity of light. How much bright, how much it is brightness. It is nothing but a subjective measure. It cannot be measured. So these are the three basic qualities to describe the quality of the chromatic light source. So we have been discussed about what is a color, what are the different types of color images we have. Now we are going to discuss about color models. Color by defining a 3D coordinate system and a subspace that contains all conceptual colors within a particular model. A color model is an abstract mathematical model describing the way colors can be represented as tuples of numbers. Tuple is nothing but triplet, are typically as 3 or 4 values or color components. If you have the opaque factor alpha, it will have 4 values along with color components. Each color model is oriented towards either specific hardware based on primary color or cyan, magenta, yellow color, or we have yellow in quadrature or image processing applications. We will be using hue, saturation, and intensity. Any color that can be specified using a model will correspond to a single point with the surface it defines. This can be represented through RGB model, CMY model, HSI model, YIQ model. So now we are going to focus more on the model elaborately. What is RGB model? Here, color monitor in color video cameras, RGB model is used. In the RGB model, an image consists of 3 independent image planes. It can be called as channels. One for the red channel, another one for green channel, another one for blue channel. One in each of the primary colors, red, green, and blue. For example, as I have given you, when you have a color image, you have 10 rows and 10 columns. Each pixel must have 3 triplets. One triplet represents the red, another triplet represents green, another triplet represents blue. So for example, if it ranges from 0 to 255, red ranges from 0 to 255, green ranges from 0 to 255, and blue ranges from 0 to 255. Here, when you represent a color red apple, if you want to represent, it must have 255, 0, 0. If you represent a green apple, it must have 0, 255, 0. If you want to have a white, then all values should be, the triplet should be 255, 255, 255 in the pixel representation. Specifying the color is by specifying the amount of each of the primary components present. How much red component is present, green component is present, blue component is present. We have the different shades our eye can perceive through our cones. The geometry of the RGB color model for specifying colors using a Cartesian coordinate system as described in the next picture. So here we have red channel, we have green, and so this is a coordinate system. Primary colors red, green, blue is given. Here red and green produces yellow. Then this red and blue in the Cartesian coordinate system produces this color cube, represents magenta in this side. Then this color cube in the Cartesian coordinate system with respect to green and blue, it produces cyan. So each coordinate will have 0, 0, 1. So here from this plane, from green to blue, we can have different shades of cyan. And if you have all the put together three, we will be having white. This is the primary color model in RGB. So the RGB color cube is shown. The grayscale spectrum lies on the line joining the black and white vertices. Here this is the standard image in the image processing. This is called as a Lena image. It's given in terms of RGB. Here red channel, then this is green, this is blue. Red channel is given here, green channel is given, blue channel is given here. Next we have CMY model. What is CMY model? Cyan, magenta, yellow. So we have used primary colors. Now the secondary colors have been used. That is reduced colors. So here we will be using cyan, magenta, yellow. This is a subtractive model appropriate to absorption of colors. For example, due to pigments in paints. Whereas the RGB model asks what is added to black to get a particular color. In the CMY model asks what is subtracted from white. Okay, RGB model, what is added to black, and CMY model asks what is subtracted from white. So in this case, the primaries are cyan, magenta, and yellow, with red and green and blue as secondary colors. So this is a formula which represents RGB to CMY. So if you take R, it is nothing but 1 minus C. If you take G, it is nothing but 1 minus magenta. What is B? B is nothing but, blue is nothing but 1 minus Y. Similarly, C is equal to 1 minus R, M is equal to 1 minus G, Y is equal to 1 minus B. So if you have the RGB model with you, we can convert the RGB model to cyan model by subtracting each component by 1, and we can do it vice versa. So when we have the RGB model, we can convert the RGB model to CMY model. Then if you have RGB model, we can convert it to HSI model. And if you want to come back from HSI to RGB, we can do it with our mathematical formulas, what we have learned already in our schooling, right? The formulas are useful and it is proven and we can be using in our models. As mentioned above, color may be specified by the three quantities hue, saturation, and intensity in this model. So conversion between the RGB model and the HSI model is quite complicated. So normally the intensity is given, I is given by adding all the three R plus D plus B primary colors, where the quantities R, G, B are the amounts of the red, green, and blue components normalized to the range from 0 to 1. So when you normalize, for example, if the values between the range 0.0 to 1.0. If you take the RGB, as I have already mentioned, 0 to 255, green 0 to 255, blue 0 to 255. Here in this RGB to HSI, the values will be normalized to the range from 0 to 1. So the intensity is therefore just the average of the red, green, and blue components. How much intensity is present? Red, green, and blue. The saturation is given by S. S is equal to 1 minus minimum. That is called as a saturation. So we have discussed about what is hue, what is saturation, and what is intensity. Hue is a color. Saturation is how far away from the gray scale. I is nothing but the intensity. So this is an example for HSI components of the RGB color image. This is the hue part, this is the saturation part, and the third one is the intensity part of the given image. YIQ model. What is YIQ? Luminance in phase quadrature model. How much angle it is present? Luminance with respect to the quadrature. This is used of RGB for color television and is very important model for color image processing. So YIQ model is highly useful for color image processing. So here the luminance Y component contains all the information required for black and white television. So in the black and white television, the Y part is being used and captures the perception of the relative brightness particular colors as a grayscale range. So the conversion from RGB to YIQ is given by this formula. Y is nothing but 0.299 into R plus 0.587 into G plus 0.114 into B. I is nothing but 0.596 R minus 0.275 G minus 0.321 B. What is Q? Q is nothing but 0.212 R minus 0.523 into G plus 0.311 into B. So this is a proven formula. From this, we may able to take it for granted and we can get the YIQ from this RGB. So when you convert the given model, we can use this formula. Based on this RGB portion, we will be arriving with the YIQ model. Pseudo color image processing. Pseudo color image processing consists of assigning colors to gray values based on a specific criterion. When you have some, this is a map, right? In this map, we do not know anything, which is given in the grayscale form. If you add on some colors, we may able to give false color to the data, and we can use greens, we can use blues, we can use some soil colors, everything. And this might be useful for remote processing and satellite image processing. And from the given shades, we may able to add on, we can take planes and each plane can be given with some colors through which we may able to process it. So in the color image processing, we have one more part that is called as a pseudo color image processing. In the medical image processing also, which involves certain images can be added with false color to understand and to improve the human visualization. So as you see in this diagram, we have the grayscale image. After false coloring, you can understand the map clearly. So this way we can do the processing. This is called as a pseudo color processing. So here the principal use of pseudo color image processing is for human visualization. Intensity slicing and color coding is one of the simplest kinds of pseudo color image processing. When we want to apply the pseudo color image processing, we need two techniques to be worked. One is intensity slicing, another one is called as color coding. In the gray level color assignments can then be made according to the relation. What is CK? CK is nothing but a parameter which associates with the color with the gauge intensity level. VK defined by the partitioning planes at L is equal to K minus 1 and L is equal to K. Let us see how it is in the next slide. So this is the intensity slicing. As we have seen, x-axis, y-axis, z-axis, the range goes from grayscale 0 to L minus 1. We want to convert the grayscale into the intensity slicing, right? When you want to do it, we need to add on some false color to the different portion of the given image through the intensity slicing. If an image is interpreted as a 3D function, the method can be viewed as one of the placing planes parallel to the coordinate plane of the image. Each plane then slices the function in the area of intersection. So here figure shows an example of using a plane at f of x comma y. So here is equal to Li. The plane is placed over here. Slice the image function into two levels. If a different color is assigned to each side of the plane shown in figure, any pixel whose intensity level is above the plane will be coded with one color. Then pixel below the plane will be coded with the other color. This is the way intensity slicing is being carried out. This technique is being used in our pseudo color image processing to improve the human visualization. So levels that lie on the plane itself may be arbitrarily assigned one of the two colors. The result is a two-color image whose relative appearance can be controlled by moving the slicing plane up and down of the intensity axis. So we can have the plane and below the plane, above the plane, we can code with one color. Below the plane, we can code with another color. This way, our system will work. So this technique may be summarized as let 0, L minus 1. L is a resolution. Normally, we have 255, right? 256 minus 1, 255 represent the grayscale. Let level L0 represent the black f of x comma y 0, and the level L minus 1 represent the white f of 255 represent the white. So here the f of x comma y is equal to L minus 1. Suppose that P planes perpendicular to the intensity axis are defined at levels. We have L1, L2 up to LP. Then assuming that P lies between 0 to L minus 1. The P planes partition the grayscale into P plus 1 intervals, namely V1, V2 up to VP plus 1. So intensity to color assignments are made according to the relation f of x comma y is equal to Ck if f of x comma y belongs to Vk, where Ck is a color associated with the kth intensity interval, Vk defined by the partitioning plane at I is equal to k minus 1 or at L is equal to k. This way only our intensity slicing is working with color coding. These two techniques are useful in order to improve the human visualization for the grayscale images. We may able to apply this technique in color image processing. So with this, we have just elaborated on what is a digital image, how to represent digital image processing, and we have been discussed about the different image formats. Then we have been discussed about three categories of image processing. Then followed by we have been discussed about what is the color, fundamentals to color. Then we have been described about color models, namely RGB. Then followed by we have discussed about HSI model, and we have seen about YIQ. Then we also have described about pseudo color image processing. Under the pseudo color image processing, the gray level images can be added with some false color in order to improve the data. Then we can also transform the image from one form to another form. So gray level to color, color to gray level. So this can be shown in this figure. F of x comma y is our input image. We can take the input image and we can only print red channel of the red transformation, or we can print a green transformation, or we can see only the blue channel. So in various color image processing applications, it is possible to use corresponding red, green and blue channels. So we will be discussing, and I can also show you one video which will help us to understand how the commands are useful to make use of the color images. Okay, shall we proceed now? This is a pseudo color image processing example. One gray level image is shown here. So after the enhancement using the gray level color transformation, we have the original image given with the blue color with the background of red shades. It is being shown. This is an example for pseudo color image processing based on color slicing and intensity slicing. So this is a pseudo color coding approach used when several monochrome images are available. F1 of x comma y transformation T1, you will be getting the output as G1 of x comma y. What is transformation? Some mathematical formula which we apply from one form to another form. We have the normally water in the liquid form, ice cube in the crystal form, right? So how does it possible? If you reduce the temperature, we will be getting the ice cubes. Then if you again increase the temperature, you will be getting water. So that is called as a transformation, right? So f1 of x comma y, apply the transformation function t1, g1 of x comma y. So next f2 of x comma y is our another image, which will be applied with the transformation function t2, g2 of x comma y. For example, you have 3, 3, 3, and if you multiply by 2, what will happen? Each pixel will become 6, 6, 6, right? That is one transformation, g2 of x comma y. Then fk of x comma y, which is transformed into transformation tk. So additional processing we can add on, through which we can get the red format separately, pseudo color, red, then green, and B format. So this is an example for pseudo color coding approach used when several monochrome images are available. So when you have set of monochrome images in the scene, we may be able to take separately, and we can apply f1 of x comma y with some transformation and define some coloring. This way we can work on get the pseudo color image processing. To combine several monochrome images into a single color composite, as shown in earlier figure, the frequent use of this approach is in multispectral image processing, where different sensors produce individual monochrome images, each in a different spectral band. So based on the remote sensing applications, we have different sensors which will produce multispectral images. For each sensor which produces, we may be able to have different colors, right? For that, we can add on that monochrome images with pseudo color image processing. So for this, that particular example is helpful. Then the types of additional processes shown in figure can be used with color balancing, combining images and selecting the 3 images for display based on knowledge about response characteristics of the sensor used to generalize the image. So we can identify what exactly the image is, how it looks like, and what would be the matter is. Everything can be analyzed with the help of the pseudo color image processing, right? So this is a color transformation example. We have a full color image with a bowl of cherries, and we can convert into 3 different models. First model represents the cyan portion, magenta portion, yellow portion, secondary model with black. Then this is the transformation of red, green, and blue. So then we can take the color image and we may be able to convert hue part, saturation part, intensity part. So based on this, we may be able to transform the color image. So normally people work on grayscale images. Since image itself is too big, people will be comfortable to work with only one channel known as grayscale. If you take the color image, that can be transformed into grayscale and perform the image processing, or like enhancement or compression. Then again, go back to your inverse transformation. This is what people will work on normally, but at times we need to work on colors directly. So instead of using the primary colors, if you want to transform the colors from one domain to another model, and we can work on comfortably in image processing, we can prefer to go with hue, saturation, intensity level also. We have done a work, that is, we have taken apple, and we have found that our algorithm will say whether the given apple is sound one or defected one, infected one, or how much wax is present in the given apple. So through color green apple, red apple, we have analyzed, and under which we have applied this color transformation. We have used the hue, saturation, intensity part, and we have applied the thresholding technique. Based on that, we have found region of interest, and based on the region of interest, we have checked whether it's the infected part and how much area is infected, whether the apple has been used, reused, or it should be discarded. That way we have done the work. Similarly, in the agriculture domain, we have done the work on, we have collected the leaves of tomato leaves or the equivalent leaves, and shapes also we have analyzed through the color image processing. And we have also checked how much the leaf is infected, is there any pesticide required to improve the yield. All these things we can do the work in our color image processing. So this is our complements on the color cycle, that is red, green, blue. Then we have the combination yellow here, then green and blue, cyan, then from this magenta. This is the color circle. Complements on the color circle would be represented like this in color model. So this is another example, full color image. This is the original image. Then complement transformation function. After transformation, we have this like this, then complement means opposite side, right? So this way it works on hue part, saturation part, intensity part of the given color image. Then C represents the here based on complement of A based on RGB mapping functions. D represents approximation of the RGB complement using the HSI transformation. This way we can take the color image and we can transform it and we can see the color image hue part, or we can also describe about the RGB mapping part of the given image. These are the examples which we can work on in our color image processing. So with this, we have been introduced about what is a digital color image processing and how the color images have been taken and processed, then different color spaces, namely RGB color model, YCBCR and HSV. So it also involves studying, transmission, storage and encoding of this color images. So the RGB primary commonly used for color displays mixes the luminance and chrominance. So luminance is the measure of the level of brightness. Chrominance is the color attributes of the light. As we have discussed, we have been so far introduced about how to represent a color in images, and we can also work on videos. Videos will come under frames. Each frame will have set of images so per second. So in video also we can incorporate colors, and frame by frame we can extract the images and we can work on colors, and we can do some enhancements, or we can extract some portion of the image as an attribute, as a segmented output, and we can decide understanding. All these things we can work on our color image processing. So let me show you the example for one demo, which will describe some MATLAB functions, how to represent an image, how to read an image, then how to display an image, how the color image pixel looks like for an Apple image, then how to adjust the parameters, then how to convert the given image into black and white, and all these things we will see in this short video. Please go through.
I'm going to talk about how to do image processing in MATLAB, and I will cover 6 different functions. These 6 functions are the most basic and the fundamental image processing functions. The first one is the IMread. I have Apple.jpg file in my system, and I use the IMread to read the JPEG file into my workspace.
This is an Apple image which comprises maybe 125 rows into 255 columns. Each shows the 255, right? Red portion is available. Pixel values have been shown here with the reading, image reading.
The second method I'm going to use is the IMShow. IMShow is to show the image.
This is a Apple image A, which has been given with the pixel values 255 to 55 each. Here green part is given, black is given in the border. Pixel values have been shown.
Now, I do some transform. I transform the RGB card to the grayscale. And I use the IMShow function again and display the new image. That is the image after the transform.
So this is the output of RGB to gray. Red, green, blue to gray has been shown with the help of the mathematical function available in MATLAB, RGB to gray. B is the
another function, IMH. This function will try to see how many pixels is in that specific intensity. So the distance is only work for grayscale image.
So histogram, grayscale images, how much 50s are present, how much 70s are present, 100s are frequent, that can be done through our image list of B command.
Now, I use IMread to read a TIFF file, TIF file. This TIF file is in MATLAB, so you don't have to download it and you don't have to put it in your current directory. make the contrast to be much better. That is the output.
So this is the given image. After a contrast stitching, we have different contrasts. This way we can work on, right? Image adjust. Close all will help you to close all the functions. Figure will represent figure to be present. Image show will help you to show the image. I represents the P out dot diff.
Now this time, I do support. The first one, I show the image with
First image, contrast image.
the image contrast adjustment.
Image adjustment is stored in
I will show an image of the picture passing through another function of IM to BW. That is, transform the image from the grayscale to the black and white.
Image contrast adjustmented image J is being now shown with our IM to BW. BW means black and white. That will be shown with respect to 1, 2, 1 and 1, 2, 2 in as a subplot.
This is the result.
Result is shown with respect to your IM2 of black and white.
The method can be done in eProgramer.com. I hope you enjoy this tutorial.
Yeah. So we can work like this in our image processing tool or Java, or we can use the platforms. So next. Yeah, we can see now another image. So did you know that there are 2 days in your life that you can do nothing about? One is yesterday and the other is tomorrow. So we can only live in today, right? So today we can love, dream, work, and above all, enjoy. So we have to fix our target and we should work on it. So this is a color image which shows the content, and I wish you a great day. So always focus on today and try to arise, awake, and not stop till the goal is reached. So fix your target. So now we have been introduced about what is a color fundamental, then what are the different color models available. So where the primary model is used, where the subtractive model is used, and how the printing industry works on different colors. And we can also display technologies just like our monitors, how to adjust the brightness and everything we have been discussed. Along with that, we have also been discussed about pseudo color image processing that will help us to improve the human visualization. Then with this, we have introduced how to work on images. Our Java images also will help you to work on all these techniques. Then we can work on Python. Also, we can work on any image processing tool. Our Paint also will help us to work on images. Then we have already available tool is Photoshop. Everywhere these techniques have been used. These fundamentals have been used in their application. So with this, we have completed the session. So we can go on with our question and answer session. And if you have any questions based on this techniques, I'm happy to clarify your doubts. Thank you for your patience and learning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Yeah, good morning.
While converting the color images, that is RGB image, into red channel image, what is the pixel values actually taken, ma'am? If you are having some pixel values to say 200 is red and 100 is blue and 100 is green, you are converting into a red channel alone. Whether you are taking only the 200 pixel value, other green and blue will be 0, or some values will be taken for red channel component image.
Sir, actually, when you talk about a color image, we have a 10 rows and 10 columns. Take it as an example. First pixel, first row, right? First pixel. which will have three values, three attributes. That is, first attribute is a red channel. So red channel takes 0 to 255. Again, the same pixel will have the green channel also. So that will have the address of 0 to 255. Blue is also again 0 to 255. If it is for example, the given image will have some red component alone, then that red component will be extracted. 255 means that 255 will be extracted. It doesn't change the value, sir. Actually, in the color image, we have three coordinates, right? For every pixel, we have triplets. So red means all red components of 10 rows and 10 columns will be extracted and shown. It doesn't change the color. It actually, whatever content is there, that will be shown in the red channel.
Okay, in the red channel, what about the green and blue values? It will become 0.
Yeah, it will not be there. It will not be there.
So okay, once it will not be there means the red channel component should show only in red color, no, madam?
Yeah.
If you're taking green channel, means it has to show only green color alone. Right?
Yeah. The remaining will be coming under zeros, as you have mentioned. It will extract only the red portion, and the remaining will be shown with the zeros. Something like this, you will be getting the output, sir. Red channel. Okay.
But the red channel shows in different colors, and green channel alone will not show the green color, but it shows some other color.
Not like that, sir. As I have already told you in the previous slide, right? One bunch of cherries were there, right? So that will show only the red portion of the data will be shown. Green portion of the data will be shown in different model. It doesn't alter the colors. It will extract red portion separately, green portion separately, and blue portion separately, and it will show. As I have already told you, for example, assume we have some 25, 30, 20, right? So red channel value is 25, green channel value is 30, blue channel value is 35, right?
Okay.
So what will happen is when you convert, the first pixel will be taken only 25 for the red channel, 35 for the green channel, blue channel it will take another value. 40 means 40 will be taken. Something like this. It doesn't change. So for every coordinate there will be triplets, sir. Triplet. First triplet represents a red color. Second part of the triplet represents a second blue value. Third one represents a green. Red, green, blue, right? The first value represents red. It will take all red color and allow it displays.
It does not mean that the red channel will always in red color, green channel will be in always green color. It's not like that.
It's not like that. Red channel means 0 to 2. That represents a red portion. Maybe 25, 35, 45. The range is from 0 to 255. If you represent a red color, it must be 255 in the first coordinate. Okay. As you know, every pixel will have three values. First one is a red coordinate value. Second one is a green coordinate value. Then blue coordinate value. So if I say red channel means all first coordinate, all red channels will be extracted and shown. Green channel means second portion, right? Second channel. That alone, that values may be range 0 to 255. If it is green now, it will be 255. If it is some reddish color, something like this, it will be have some different shades. Based on the pixel values, it will take only that channel and it will show.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? Are you all happy with the input? We have the confidence to work on images now.
Yes.
Yeah, you can take grayscale images are always helpful to us to work easily since we have only one channel, right? 8 bits per pixel. But according to red channel, green channel, blue channel, we have 8 bits for red channel, 8 bits for green channel, 8 bits for blue channel. So totally 24 bits required. Here we can also convert into gray and we can work and we can come back. If we want to work specifically on color, definitely we have to go on color. Nothing can be changed. Any difficulties or any? Is it clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Have you understood the concept thoroughly?
Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah. Yes.
All are basics which we are using every day. Day-to-day life we are using, right? That same thing has been shown.
Yes,
We
ma'am.
can have large number of tools available. We can comfortably work on Java images itself. We can do all the processing.
Ma'am, hello.
Yes. Yes.
This is Shilpa. Actually, if we convert a color image to grayscale image, don't you think some of the objects will be missing after conversion? So we cannot actually detect the objects that are present in color image, which is missing in grayscale image.
For example, if you want to work on compression, right? So if you want to work on compression, the color image is given to you, right?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
what you are going to do is you will be converting into gray image. What will happen is the given coordinates red 0 to 255, green channel to 0 to 255, and blue 0 to 255 will be converted into a one simple 8-bit. So our color might be, as I have already told you, 25, 35, 45, right? This 25, 35, 45, that particular shade will be having one equivalent gray shade, right? So that will be converted. It doesn't mean that the data will be lost. Nothing will be lost. The pixel values will be adjusted and based on the shades that will be shown. Okay. So the color image compression means you need not bother about, you need not work on orange separately, green separately, blue separately. As I have already told you, 24 bits per pixel, right? That 24 bits per pixel is complicated. So nothing to worry. You just convert the given color image. For example, you take your passport size photograph and convert it into your grayscale from the 8 bits, right? 24 bits form for each pixel to 8 bits. What will happen is the RGB equivalent value will be converted into 8 bits form. That's all. It doesn't lose any information. It just shows the different model. That's all. Then afterwards, from the gray, after conversion, you can come back again with the help of the transformation function, gray to RGB. We have functions available through which we may be able to come back. It doesn't lose any information when you transform from color to gray. Only thing, color values will be adjusted. Pixel values will be adjusted.
Okay,
The equivalent shades.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Good. Next. Any doubts? Do you have any clarifications? When you work on images, you will have to be happy to work on matrices. So when you take some huge matrices, then all processing, whatever the process which you require, you can add on. For example, you can do smoothing operation, you can use some sharpening operation, you can blur the image. With the help of blurring, we may be able to improve the quality of the image, right? To some extent. We have low pass, high pass filters available. With the help of the low pass filters, we can achieve the smoothing. With the help of the high pass filters, we may be able to achieve the sharpening. All these things we can apply to our color images, as well as if you want, you can convert that color image into noise reduction. You can convert gray and come back. Either way we can work on. At times we need to work on only color images. Since you want to work on only hue part of the image, you can just go to the hue saturation intensity format than the RGB, since it is a subtractive model, and also it helps to reduce the model and work on it. That way we can convert from one model to another model, and we can do processing according to our requirement.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes,
is it possible to convert the color image into a binary form and do some transformation by doing some kind of encryption? Again, it can be retransformed to original image, ma'am?
Yeah, through some thresholding. What do you mean by thresholding? For example, you have the region of interest, right? So I want to only take green part of the given image, right? We have some trees available. So under the trees, when you see the tree, you have some green portion and you may have some brown portions, right? So I want to extract only green portions. So what I have to do is, I have to check every pixel. If the value is greater than 255, that green channel value is 255, then we can make it as a, if greater than the threshold value, make it 1. Less than threshold value, make it 0. What will happen is the given color image is transformed into the black and white image. Afterwards, you do the color encryption. Whatever the encryption, which is encoding, decoding part, you can do it and you can get it. So with the help of the thresholding.
Is there any tool to convert the color image into binary image? Is there any tool or function? Or using MATLAB, we can do it?
Using MATLAB, we can do it. We have told you, image adjust. I have told you. I have seen you. I think in the demo I have shown you one image adjust function, right? So one contrast image has been taken, contrast enhancement image has been taken, and the image to adjust. Then you would have seen IM2BW function. That will help you to convert the given image into black and white. IM2BW. That will convert to black and white. Or you can apply thresholding also based on the region of interest. You can apply. You know the value. If the particular value is greater than threshold, you just make it 1. Otherwise 0. That will help you to extract the region of interest as segmentation. Yeah, there are functions available, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Any clarification? Anybody else is working on image processing? If you work on image processing, definitely you can apply all these techniques and it will be useful.
Good morning, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, I'm working on image processing to identify the disease and pest in plants I'm working on. Whether the MATLAB will be useful one or a Python I can adopt, ma'am.
MATLAB consists of lot of available. It also supports a different mathematical functions, ma'am, that are available to transform. So Python is now currently emerging, and everybody is going with. It is also full of libraries available, right? So with the help of the libraries, you may able to make easier your work. So Python you can prefer to work on since you are starting your work, and if you want to plan on it,
I'm starting my work now.
It's better to work on Python since it's comfortable, and also we have lot of packages available that can be imported easily within line. You may able to achieve different actions immediately. It's GUI based as well as package oriented, right? I think you can prefer to go Python immediately since you are starting. But same way you can work on MATLAB also. MATLAB is also a tool only. We can write our own coding also, and we can do it. But if you are comfortable with Python, there are a lot of facilities available. You can add on your deep learning. If you want to add on your classification, regression algorithms, so you can add on with the TensorFlow and other things are helpful. So you can start your work with Python if you start.
Okay, ma'am. If possible, arrange another session for all the topics in digital image processing, ma'am. It is a wonderful session what we had today, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Sure. I think I will be doing 2 more image processing sessions in 2 different colleges that will cover first image processing introduction for one college. Then I'll be focusing on image enhancement techniques in another college, maybe on this coming Friday and Monday. I think you can attend that program.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. How to get that links, ma'am?
I think one from Kanyakumari, ST Hindu College, they are going to have a digital image processing introduction class. I think Hindu College people from Kanyakumari you can approach. Then another college is from Dr. Krishna Swami College from Chennai, Anna Nagar. They are going to host the program on coming Monday, like a webinar like this, based on image enhancement techniques.
Okay, ma'am.
Also, they will stream it. I think so. So that links also must be available after the webinar. You can see that out.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Anybody else have any clarification? Yeah, I think 2 participants raised hand. Yes. Dhanalakshmi. Patrician College coordinator Pushpa.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
you can coordinate.
Participants, if you have any query, you can ask me. Kindly mute yourself and ask your query. I think that is over.
Yeah.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. Now I call upon Mr. Kumar, Department of Computer Science, And sir, kindly take over the session, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank
Vote
you.
of thanks. Be thankful for what you have, and you will end up having more. It's my privilege to have been asked to propose the vote of thanks on this session. I, on behalf of the Department of BCA and BSc Computer Science, shift to Petition College of Arts and Science, would like to thank our esteemed resource person, Dr. P.L. Chitra, for presenting a knowledgeable webinar on the topic Recent Trends in Color Image Processing for the past 1 hour. And I think this is not only FTP on recent trends in color image processing. I also see this as a FTP to become a great teacher. The way our resource person explained, I admire her the way of presentation. Initially, she started by introducing the book from where she has taken the material. It shows her honesty towards the participants, and also she is very much clear, and she is not in a hurry to complete the portion. She is very clear, she clearly explained, and in between, when some of the participants raised their hands to ask doubt, she then and there stopped there, and she clarified the doubt, and then she carried on. And finally, she has given each and every place, she has given a very real-time example and a good presentation video at the end. And finally, by giving the thank session also, she has thrown a positive quote, ending with the thank you session with a positive quote. And after that, she has spent more than 15 minutes to clarify the doubts of the participants. Thank you very much, madam. And I'm happy to extend my thanks to our management by thanking our director and secretary, Reverend Brother Dr. Johnson Rex Dhanapal, for being the backbone of our event. I also like to thank our academic director, Dr. Fatima Wasan, who is being the inspiration for all of us. I would extend my thanks to our principal, Dr. Usha Jha, who is the driving factor in all our efforts. I would also like to extend my thanks to our beloved Vice Principal, Dr. Geeta Rufus, for guiding us throughout the webinar. I'd like to extend my thanks to our coordinator, Ms. Pushpalata, for arranging the FTP within a short duration. A special thanks to Mr. Pandian for arranging the right resource person for the FTP. Thank you, Pandian sir. I would like to thank Mr. Nagarjun, coordinator of Mathematics Department, Partition College of Arts and Science, for providing us the Zoom ID for today's session. I would also like to thank our department professor, Dr. Vishwambari and Mr. Sabhabadi for the tireless effort for making this FTP a grand success. Last but not the least, I would like to thank all the participants from various colleges, from various states. I have seen participants from various states, and for the yesterday we had a problem. Even then, they have turned back today. Thanks for all the participants. Thank you. The announcement. Hello. The announcement. Participants, please submit the feedback form. Only then you will get the certificate. Feedback form has been given in the chat box. Thank you.
Thank you once again, everybody.
Hello.
Hello.
Ma'am, I have one doubt, ma'am. My name is Chitra, ma'am.
Yes.
Sorry, ma'am. Sorry to disturb you, ma'am.
Nothing
At the end. Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, if we convert the image from one mode to another mode, is there any color loss, ma'am?
That's what I have told you in the beginning itself. When there is a color, values will be adjusted. No color loss will be there, ma'am. No color loss. Only color values will be adjusted. That's all. For example, we have 255, some 30, 40. That particular code 255, 30, 40, the different corresponding color will be there in grayscale. We have shades. That's all.
Ma'am, what is the difference between the CT scan and the MRI scan images? The same color processing, ma'am?
CT scan, we have images with, for example, that radiation is there, right? In MRI, we have radiation, CT image. That is a technical difference. But as far as the image is concerned, we will be getting only grayscale images. In both cases, we'll be getting grayscale images, and we will be working on it, right? So here the modality is changed. CT and the accuracy will be different based on the radiation mechanism, right? So whatever the image is produced, that will be come under the grayscale part in the both cases, medical images, and we will be working on it. So if you give more radiation, that is dangerous to the health, and we will get accurate data anyway, but that will be avoided. So the CT scan mechanism and MRI scan mechanism is based on the technique only. It doesn't affect our resolution. That accuracy of the data will be obtained based on the radiation given to the body, human body.
Okay.
Any transformation, when we transform from one form to another form, there is no loss in data. There is absolutely no loss in data. Only shades will be different. Whatever the color shade in color image domain will be transformed equivalent in grayscale. That's all. Shades only will be different. No data loss.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
So once again, I record my sincere thanks for the Patrician College and the coordinators, management, principal, for having arranged this webinar to initiate, to make this lockdown period useful for our faculty members. So I thank all the participants for your enthusiastic participation, for patient listening. I hope everybody would have enjoyed this session. And also I would like to thank the professors, coordinators, and thank Mr. Kumar for having given me the nice vote of thanks. Thank you so much, and happy to take part with you.
Ma'am, ma'am, can you send the PPT, ma'am?
Yeah, no problem.
Mail to the mail, ma'am.
I'll give it to the. I'll give it to the party. I'll give it to the organizers. They will send you.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. It is a crystal clear presentation, ma'am. Thanks for invitation, accepting the invitation, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you. It is my pleasure to take part with all today to exchange our ideas. It's just a good beginning. All of you work on image processing and produce many more results. That would be grateful to me.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you, ma'am.